Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
There you are. How you doing? 9:02. It's a Thursday morning right here on RiverBender.com, Roku TV, anywhere, everywhere that you get this show. Thanks for tuning in and helping us grow each and every day. We got a good one for you today. We're going to be talking to Adam Marburger in just about 20 minutes or so, but who's counting? We're going to get the latest from just everything he's working on, Alton Family Martial Arts and Fitness. I'll ask him a little bit about Ascend and all the other great work he's doing, and a little bit more. That comes your way in about 18 minutes. Then around 9:40 or so, we're going to be talking to Tim Seebold, who is with the F1 Powerboat races. The Alton Midwest Nationals comes to town this weekend, and this is a big deal. We're going to talk all about how the series came to be, how it's developed through the years, and all the excitement that they're sharing with the region ahead of this weekend. That comes down the pipeline around 9:40. Then around 10:10, we're going to be talking to Jay Keevan and Paul Nicolussi. We're going to get the latest from the county board, and we're going to hear from Jay as he is taking on Katie Stewart, I believe, in the general election in November. So we'll get all those conversations coming down the pipeline and everything else in between. You got any comments? 618-759-7469. And let me know what you're feeling. Hey, we'll take you to top of the hour news at 9:03. Here's what's happening around the Riverbend. Make sure you sign up for that daily email update where you can join myself and 70,000 people that are in the know each and every day of the work week. And on Saturdays with Around the Riverbend, we'll take you to Bethalto first. A jury trial date has been set for Jacob T. Kimbrough Sr., 33 years of age, of Bethalto, who faces several serious charges, including multiple counts of murder, attempted murder, and animal cruelty. The charges stem from the incidents that transpired on February the 25th, 2023 in Shipman, where Teresa Kimbrough and a dog were found deceased, and another man, John D. Sullivan, was shot. Kimbrough detained after an intense standoff in Cottage Hills and has been taken into custody since. His final pretrial hearing is set for August the 21st and the 26th, with the jury trial scheduled for the 21st of October. RiverBender.com will keep you updated throughout the course of that trial. Also in Bethalto, the police department is requesting the public's assistance in identifying a person observed in the Cutter Aljet subdivision near Irwin Plague Boulevard around 5 a.m. on Monday, June the 17th. The individual was seen entering a vehicle and taking items. Detectives are currently reviewing video footage that may help this investigation. The police emphasize the importance of community assistance and urge anyone with relevant information to contact their office immediately at 618-377-5266. Specific details about the stolen items or vehicle involved have not been disclosed as the investigation continues. At 9:05 out of St. Clair County, the St. Clair County Sheriff's Office has announced a significant update in a very prominent case. William Buckler, 56, of Laurie City, was arrested on November the 22nd, 2022 for child molestation, a Class A felony. Further investigations revealed that Buckler was arrested while already incarcerated on a St. Clair County warrant for 4 charges of child molestation with bond set at $200,000 cash only. On June the 11th, Buckler was found guilty by a jury of 4 counts of first-degree child molestation. He is scheduled to be sentenced on the 5th of August, and we'll keep you updated when we get the report from his sentencing. During their regular meeting on Tuesday, June the 18th, the Madison County Board discussed the Salvation Army's proposed New Hope House, a 48-bed transition housing shelter. The board deferred action on a previously approved $2.5 million grant after the Salvation Army requested more time to find a new location. New guidelines now require shelters to be within 5 miles of the county administration building, sparking opposition from several community members and board members. The community has until July 15th to submit letters of intent. The board emphasized the need of careful consideration and community input before any final decisions are made. Finally, in the news this morning at 9:07, the Alton Farmers and Artisans Market will be temporarily moving to the corner of Broadway and Ridge Street on Saturday, June the 22nd, due to the powerboat races on the Mississippi River. This scaled-down version will be open from 8 a.m. with special breakfast vendors at Flock Food Truck Park. Executive Director Sarah McGibney emphasized the importance of supporting the vendors who rely on the market. The market will continue every Saturday through October the 19th. SNAP benefits are accepted with a dollar-for-dollar match. New vendors can join with a $12 weekly fare, and special offers for youth and nonprofits available as well. You can stay up to date with the Alton Artisans and Farmers Market by staying up to date on the social media and Facebook pages for Alton Main Street. At 9:07, that's a look at what's happening around the Riverbend. Make sure you stay up to date with your SMS notifications for all you millennials out there. That means text messaging. Text RB to 618-202-4618 or join that email update that's got 70,000 people in the know each and every day of the work week. We'll take you to weather. It's 85 degrees at 9:07. The bad thing is it feels like 95 out there. Today, mostly sunny, hot, and humid. Check on sensitive groups and those without air conditioning today are the notes provided to us by the weather desk. Tonight, partly cloudy, and it will be humid. Air quality right now is at moderate. Grass levels moderate, mold is low, and so is ragweed. Tree levels are moderate today as well. Temperatures reach 94 degrees today. They drop down to 70 overnight as we head into Friday. On Friday, a high of 95 awaits us. A low of 72 degrees will hit us in the evening. And on Saturday, a high of 97 degrees and a low of 73. But on Sunday, temperatures start to cool a little bit. A high of 91, a low of 68. And on Monday, a high of 92 degrees, a low of 69. You can stay up to date in real time all the time on RiverBender.com/weather or by calling this time and temperature number, the landmark phone number that all of you grew up with, 618-465-4545. This time powered by Bounce Back. Rehab, recover, and, well, return home. Hey, before we take a quick pause, let me fill you in on one of my favorites. Let me be blunt about this. Village Dispensary is your go-to spot for all things green, whether you're after vapes, flowers, topicals, tinctures, edibles, and a hell of a lot more. I'm telling you what, they got a selection that'll make you feel like you are living in Harold and Kumar's dream. Their staff is faster than a Fast Times ride, getting you what you need in no time. But what I think's cool, too, if you need some time, if you don't know really a lot about the products, they have a consultation area. Well, they'll pull you to the side. They'll talk to you about what you need to know, and they'll keep you moving and keep you informed. That's why I really just love Village Dispensary. Village Dispensary is locally owned, union built, and all about quality and dedicated to bringing you that awesome cannabis experience. Check out Village Dispo online at villagedispo.com for their awesome inventory. And remember, when you stop by, don't forget to tell them you know who, that happens to be me, sent you over their way. Come on now, guys. It's a joint effort. That's Village Dispensary or Village Dispo. VillageDispo.com. We'll take a quick break. Come back with Adam Marburger right after this on RiverBender.com.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone, And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job. There's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team. We've got Joey.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. Sorry, our bed went out, but Adam's doing some cool ass stuff. Hey, Adam, how are we doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
9:13, little bit of change. Hanging in there, rolling with the punches. I'm getting a wraparound put on my house next week, so
Nice.
getting all the stuff lined up for that and making sure that my neighbors don't hate me too much.
It's always a good thing. We need allies in the neighborhood. Right?
Exactly, man. Well, talking about allies, you look at Alton Family Martial Arts Fitness on Facebook or on any type of social media, and the ally that is really there is just the atmosphere. I mean, the community, what you have going for you, man, is so cool because everyone is just showing how genuinely affected in a positive way they have been from being at the establishment.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Well, here, we have this crazy culture of family, hence the name Alton Family Martial Arts. We've talked in the past, I grew up in kind of like intimidating atmospheres of types of gyms.
Yeah.
The gyms I grew up in, you wouldn't typically, drive by and go, hey, let's go there. So I wanted to kind of flip that upside down and say, hey, I want the individual that is searching for something like this that maybe is a little bit insecure. Somebody that's maybe shy, that they're just, not the type of person that's going to knock on somebody's door to come in. So we bring people in, we bring those people in, and we have just this insane culture of family.
Yeah.
And the skills there, right? I mean, we've got some people doing some insane things with our leader, with Court Wall leading the charge. I mean, Court is an elite competitor. He's actually competing Saturday night.
I'll be damned.
Over in St. Louis, yeah. And so we've got just an incredible leadership, which you know how it is in any type of an organization. It goes from the top down. So from leadership down, the culture is just family. You know?
Well, and man, the opportunities that y'all provide out there for everyone to get better and hone in on their crafts. Was it Kyle that you had coming over and teaching a seminar?
We had Kyle, our head coach. He's been over in the past. We just had Josh McKinney, which we had 50 people on the mats that night, right? We have Trevor Ratsky, who's a high-level black belt coming in a couple weeks. My commitment to my team is this. I've been doing this a long time.
Right.
I'm connected.
Right.
I got a lot of other fellow black belts that I can bring in, that we reciprocate, help each other out. But my commitment to the team is to bring in a lot of incredible assets. I want to bring people in and give them different looks and different skill sets. I want to bring specialists in so my team can reap the benefits of that. You know,
well, and that's what I think's amazing is from all across the board, really across the palette, you have an opportunity for everyone. Because I can only imagine, Adam, how many folks have walked in your doors that honestly were just kind of lost. You know, I mean, not even talking about just trying to find a gym, but just lost in general, trying to find. Yeah.
Oh yeah, all the time. And in what we do, and we have so many to count, but the level of success stories when you see somebody come in that's in a really dark place, from suicidal, depressed, going through divorce, 150 pounds overweight, lost their job, financial distress, you name the scenario, we've seen it all. And how jiu-jitsu, you know, over a 3, 4 to 6 month period completely flips that on its head. And lives just are completely transformed. Recreation on those mats. It's an insanely beautiful sight to see.
What's really cool, too, was seeing some of the guys that joined the group like Adam, you know, in just the last couple of months, seeing how well he did in that tournament down in, I believe, Tennessee, if I remember correctly, and just seeing the success that folks are having, too, within their new passion is incredible, Adam. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah, Adam's story is very special.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, and he's an ambassador leader at our gym. I mean, he leads by example. That is a brilliant man who's helping a lot of people.
And now, how have you guys grown since the last time I've talked to you? Because I know that the mats were already starting to fill up a little bit. Where are we at now in the game?
Every week. We've got new members coming in every single
Nice.
week. You know, we're growing now to where our youth program, you know, we're getting kind of, we're going to be adding new classes. So we definitely want to reach the younger generation.
Yeah.
This community is about the next generation, right? We want to reach the younger folks, get them in early, give them that structure, that organization, that discipline. ADHD is a real thing. I suffer from it. Like right now, I'm looking at that color there. I want to talk to you about you're right.
Right.
I get it, but guess what helps that? Martial arts. And so instead of rushing to the doctor to get these kids on scripts, let's get them in some activity, something like a martial art where they're put in an environment where they have people to look up to. You know, they have other just incredible figures that they can just pour into, and then they learn how to defend themselves. They build confidence. They get in better shape. They listen more at home. They listen more at school. They excel. And now, guess what? We have contributors in a positive light in our community.
You're right. You're right. Well, and another thing, just to add on to what you just talked about with the scripts and stuff, man, you're 100% right, because it's teaching that child, especially in that environment, how to think through the process and how to focus and how to really work through some of our things that are hurdles.
Amen.
You know, and man, that's what I think's cool, because we can all take, and I'm not saying take the easy way out to go on scripts, because some people need them.
Absolutely.
But it's to really try that first before you have to start knocking on those doors. And anyone that's been on his prescription like that knows what it can do to a developing child. I mean, it's important. Very, very important.
And martial arts just brings so much value into a young individual's life. It really does. And it's for, and by the way, martial arts, let's make no mistake, we're trying to grow our ladies program.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu's for ladies.
Well, didn't you have a women's self-defense class?
We did. We had great success with that. We have a women's only jiu-jitsu class every Sunday hosted by Amanda Walker, she's a very, very, very high-level jiu-jitsu practitioner. Women are just good at jiu-jitsu and they don't know. It's like they're flexible. They're nimble. I mean, it's insane how good these gals are. And so we're looking to grow that segment. We invite women to come in to learn to defend themselves. We want to grow the youth program, and also the adult program by proxy continues to grow. But we just want good people to come in the doors that want some change in their life. Yeah. Period.
Let's talk about women's classes on Sundays. What times and how much do they cost?
You know what? We have a package for that. The drop-in fee is $15.
Okay.
So $15. We're recreating our website and our pricing structure literally as we speak.
Nice.
We have family specials we're putting together. We want to make it very cost effective for anyone in the community to join. But we meet every single Sunday at 3 o'clock. So it's an hour class.
You can't beat that.
And then check us out, Alton Family, AltonFMA.com. I mean, everything's hosted online. Just find us on our website. The schedule's there.
Well, and too, I love this little luxury here too. Let me show you the schedule right here on the screen here. We are on Alton AltonFMA.com. I do have charter, so we're going to blame them today if it's slow. But, this is what's cool here. Let me zoom out here a little bit just so we can really show the full picture. You look at the classes all week long.
We've got yoga. We've got multiple different jiu-jitsu classes. We have beginner day one jiu-jitsu. We have advanced jiu-jitsu. We have a mixed martial arts. Court Wall is, in my opinion, I'm a little biased. I think Court's the most brilliant martial artist to ever come out of Alton. I mean, he's just got the pedigree, the backgrounds, he's the realest of the realest, right? He's hosting MMA now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, look at the screen, guys. You're seeing there now. There are so many opportunities, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. There's always something going on.
Every day.
And, you're a busy dude. We've talked about that before. You were just up taping 11 shows on this new thing, and I'm excited for you. But, whenever you're able to truly leave and not have to worry and not go, man, I hope this class went well today. Speak to me a little bit about your team and how much that really does help you in everything else you do.
So here's what I'll say about this. Out of all of my businesses, I don't play favorites. But I'll say this. Out of all of the businesses, that business provides the least amount of revenue, but brings the most amount of joy in my life. Period. Amen. I'm all over the place. And I believe a true measure of a CEO of a company is that you can step away from your company and your company thrives. And actually without you, your company, you should have people that are better than you in the places. Yeah. And you should be able to hold it accountable from a distance. I have that with that gym. So I'm going to tell you, I don't know, for my management staff, maybe I don't know if they'll hear this, or I don't know if they're watching. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. It's because of Court. It's because of Joel. It's because of Steven. It's because of the other Steven. It's because of Amanda. It's because of who we have. Yeah. Joel, it's our team. It's our management leadership team that I don't have to think about anything. Yeah. And so guess what I get to do? I get to, when I'm in town, I get to pop in class, do a few rounds with my team, help Court out. If Court needs a little help, lately I've been like, Court, bro, let me teach a little bit. Quit hogging all the, quit hogging all. But I'm like, no, seriously, I'm always like, when I'm in town, I'm like, Court, what do you need? I'm always like, what can I do? What can I do to help? Yeah. It's such a luxury to be able to have that. And it's an honor. Well,
I wasn't going to share this, but the other day it kind of painted a picture of really what Alton Family Martial Arts and Fitness was. I live over in North Alton, and I take my dog for a 2-mile walk or run every, afternoon when he's home. And I was walking, and all of a sudden there's Steven, out in his front yard. There's, and I actually, not lying to you, there's Adam driving by, and there's folks a part of the gym. But whenever I'm walking in my neighborhood and seeing people from Alton Family Martial Arts and Fitness, just in their yards doing things, being a part of the community, it really drives home that this is a hometown, homespun, organization for us.
Yep. Yeah. Cool. We are hometown. Yeah. We all bleed Alton. Yeah. We all love Alton. We are all about the community. And it's truly special what we've created. And you said Steven here in a minute. Steven has been our general manager for the last 6 months. Mm-hmm. He's done such a brilliant job. Yeah. Steven has truly turned it into his baby, and he has a full-time career. He's a father. That dude works extremely hard. He's an incredible leader. Same with Tom, same with Joel and Court. Court's the quarterback. Yeah. We built this entire thing around Court. Court's the Tom Brady of our jiu-jitsu program. And you know what? We're just, we just try not to get tapped too many times by Court. That our goal is just to, let's limit the amount of times that guy gets on your back. And, that's what we try to do.
There you go. Well, this weekend, with all the excitement hitting the riverfront and everything else, is class still going on Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there this weekend.
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll be there.
And then just go to AltonFMA.com to learn more. You got a moment. I know you got to leave. Do you got 5 minutes for me?
Give it to me.
There you go. We'll take a quick pause. Hey, when we come back, we'll learn more about Alton Family Martial Arts and Fitness and more right after this on Riverbender.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready? Future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back, 927. Adam Marburger back in studio. We have a better segment during the break than we do during the show.
We do talk about some pretty fun things.
You know, real quick, Alton Family Martial Arts and Fitness, AltonFMA.com. Whenever you're going through, do you have any opportunities to see the youth kind of developing too?
Oh, absolutely. The youth is not only developed, but the youth is out actually competing. And then some of the youth are now in the adult classes as well. Yeah,
I had no idea.
To see the transformation, through the youth program that's the thing too. And the reason I'm so focused on is that's the future of our program.
Yeah,
we want to really water that and invest in that and really grow that. That's the future of our community, You're 100%
right.
Yeah.
And because we're always so focused on the present, how do we look right now? But I love that. How are we going to look in 5-10 years?
Yeah.
And it just keeps growing. And now I got to ask you this. You are now hosting a talk show or your own, I don't know if it's a talk show, it's a cool television show.
Yeah. So
Fill me in.
Yeah. So I got an opportunity to be a host on CBT News Network. Which it'll stream on Apple. It'll be all over. It'll be all over. You'll be able to find it anywhere, However, it is automotive specific, and the reach is very large. It's honestly what put me on the map. I won an award back in 2018, Automotive News 40 Under 40. I was one of 40 people out of thousands that were chosen for this deal, right? And then I immediately got interviewed on CBT News, and that kind of launched my career. Jim Fitzpatrick has been really good to me. He's the owner of the studio. He brought me back dozens of times as interviews.
Yeah.
And then he reached out to me about 6 months ago. He said, "Adam, you need to, you need to be doing this. You need to be doing this. Why don't you host your own show?" And I was like, I want to use the jiu-jitsu parallel.
Yeah.
And when I get on stages and I speak, or if I'm doing training sessions, I tell the audience how fights are won. And everybody thinks, you see the fighter in the cage or the ring, they get their hand raised at the end. And they're like, man, that's glorious. That person's the best. Wow, what a great performance, which it is it's artwork is what it is. But the price was paid 12 weeks prior to that. The price was paid in the weight cut, the limited social activity, the relentless sparring, time in the gym, cutting the weight. That's training camp. And so when I speak to the industries that I train, what does our training camp look like? You want to be a winner? Follow the greats, right? And the greats, they wrote them in the form of books for us to read, right? All the books, they're pretty repetitive. If you look at what all the great people do, there's repetition, there's structure, there's organization. And so I wanted to bring that, I use those parallels on my show. And so I bring on high-powered dealers, high-level. I do a lot of interviews, and then I do training sessions. But yeah, my new show's called Training Camp, and I was down in Atlanta for 8 hours shooting this week, and I go back in another 6 weeks, and we're going to repeat that. And we do. God knows, only God knows, what's next, right? So there's these opportunities just show up, right? We talked about opportunity. They show up, when you do the right thing and you're serving people.
It's just cool, man. And what I think's even cooler is we're tying this back into the Alton Family Martial Arts and Fitness is how much of a core of you, and whether or not it's in business or just personally, how much of that is generated from martial arts. And I mean, it really just shows me and the audience just hearing you talk about that.
It's my everything. When I get on, for me to get on stage in front of hundreds and thousands, to get on the stage, and it's frightening for some people to do those things. Most people would say without the jiu-jitsu and that what in martial arts growing up what is any one person? It gives you that confidence, you can take over the world. Martial arts makes you feel not invincible but self-aware, very confident. You can be slower to make a decision. You can think things through differently. There's so much.
Well, and I don't know if you've ever paid it, but like any of the martial artists that are performers, whether it's a musician and any type of entertainer, they have a certain approach before they get on stage. And it's all just what you just said. It's that kind of that centeredness, where we're kind of just focused, we're taking those deep breaths, and we're in our moment, we're in our element, we're in the zone. And it's the same with anyone that's truly involved in martial arts. And I've seen it time and time again, just how that really goes into play in that mentality. And whether or not you're looking for youth jiu-jitsu, what age groups does that start at?
We're starting at 6.
Nice.
We've made exceptions at 5.
Yeah.
We've made exceptions at 5. 5, we get to 4. We've talked about a little mini class, but right now we're starting them at 6. The exception is, I'm saying this because I don't want to turn kids away, right?
Yeah.
Exception at 5, but we start them at 6.
Really?
And then typically you go up to 14, and then you're into the adult class. But we have had some kids graduate a little bit early.
That's really cool. And just wanted to throw that out. If you're interested in being a part of that and giving your child the opportunity to be a part of something bigger than themselves and really get some critical skills, plus adult beginner jiu-jitsu, regular jiu-jitsu, no-gi, kickboxing, ladies only, open mat yoga, MMA classes, and a bag of chips awaits you at Alton Family Martial Arts and Fitness. I mean, just all across the board, man. Every time I talk to you, it's always cool because it's just passion. And I love talking to people that are passionate. And it's not just you, it's the entire team. That's what I think's cool. There's no boat anchors on the Alton Family Martial Arts and Fitness team ever. And I know that you're moving today, but man, come back and fill me in after those 8 weeks are done and just keep up the great work.
Yeah, absolutely. Same to you. I appreciate our time together.
Oh man, always fun. At 9:33, before we take a quick break, have you seen those purple and yellow trash cans?
I have not.
So those are Denise Sparks'. A year ago, she told me, she goes, man, I'm tired of this trash company. I'm going to take them on. She was already hauling junk for 30 years, okay? And so she decided, I'm going to do it. All of a sudden, just because of some hard work and making sure that she isn't taking no for an answer, those purple and yellow trash cans are mating like bunny rabbits all across Madison County. If you live in Bethalto, Brighton, Cottage Hills, Morrow, Grafton, you name it, give Denise Sparks a call. There's so many people that made the switch. My parents have and never looked back. You know why? She answers the phone. I ordered pizza the other day and was directed to a call center. Have you had that happen yet? That is insane to me. What happened to community? It's alive at Sparks Junk Removal and Hauling, and now weekly trash pickup. Go to sparksjunkremoval.net and start your journey with the Queen of Junk, now the Queen of Trash today.
No matter the season, Played Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Played Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
In the summertime, when the weather is high, you can stretch right up and touch the sky. When the weather's fine, you got women on your mind. Have a drink, have a drive, go out and see what you can find.
There you are. Hey, we're waiting to talk to Tim Seebold here with the F1 Powerboat races and the Alton Midwest Nationals. So while I have you on this date in history, I don't know how to do the darn theme song, but Jaws was released on this date in history. I love the story of Jaws. So if you guys don't know this, the animatronic shark, right, that was Jaws, sucked, okay? It broke down all the time. They couldn't use it, so they didn't know how to really... Let me just read this to you, okay? It marked the arrival of Hollywood's first major summer blockbuster on this date in 1975 when Spielberg's thriller Jaws, it debuted in our theaters based on the best-selling book by Peter Benchley. Bet you didn't know it was a book first. Jaws takes place in the fictional resort town of Amity Island, where Police Chief Martin Brody, we all know the story. Well, you know, anyway, the shooting off the coast of Martha's Vineyard went a lot longer than scheduled, and the film's budget doubled. According to an article in '82, Spielberg and Time magazine executives at Universal threatened to shut down production at one point and put Bruce, the mechanical shark used in the film, on display as part of its Universal City tour. So instead, they decided to give Jaws a wide release instead of rolling it out in that small number of theaters as it's been conventional practice up to that point. Instead, it opens up nationwide on close to 500 screens, a small number compared to, of course, today's big releases, which goes out to about 3,000 to 4,000. But it was pretty sizable at the time. It had a $700,000 marketing campaign on network television, and it helped earn some $7 million in its opening week. So it's just up until that time, though, it never really no movies had seen that success. So it was eventually shown in nearly 700 U.S. theaters. Jaws became the first summer mega hit, racking up $260 million at the domestic box office. All told, the film would gross $450 million worldwide and establish Spielberg, who would strike more summer box office gold than 1982 with E.T., of course, as the preeminent creator of summer movie magic. But the whole thing, they didn't show the shark because it was broke all the time. Isn't that crazy how the most important part of the whole movie, I think, with the suspense building and the music, it all started because the darn thing wouldn't work. I love it. I love the story of it. Anyway, that happened on this date in history. An even more important note, and this is one that I think is just really cool. On this date in 1782, Congress adopted the Great Seal of the United States. That happened on this date in history. The front of the seal depicts that bald eagle clutching an olive branch and its right talon and arrows in its left. That happened on this date in history. On this date in 1863, West Virginia admitted into the Union as the 35th U.S. state, or the 24th state if the secession of the 11 southern states were taken into account. That happened on this date in 1863. On this date in 1947, Bugsy Siegel, the organized crime leader, mobster, killed on this date in history. And, well, I think that's about it. There you go. That's a look on this date in history. We'll take a quick break just to make sure that we aren't missing an interview here. We'll come back. More of our daily show hits you next on RiverBender.com.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey, Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team. We've got Joey.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
I didn't just say that. I'm sorry. I missed my darn basket shot. I always try to bank shot my energy drinks off the wall into the trash. It's the little things in life that keep you happy. At 9:45, welcome back to our daily show. It's warm down here in the studio today. I'm just telling you that now. Now, let me fill you in, okay? I'm going to throw Team RB under the bus today. Well, I'm not going to lie. Yesterday, you know how sometimes I'm my own worst enemy, okay? I think we all can agree on that. And, okay. We'll still be talking with Tim Seebold. He's on his way here shortly, and we'll have that conversation. But anyway, we all can agree that I'm my own worst enemy. So at work, I love everyone I work with, quite literally. I just love them to death. We're a family, really. It's kind of cool, you know? So my problem is I talk too much. Believe it or not. So when I go upstairs after the show, you know, we're talking about news stories and things that are going to be developing and things that I'm hearing about and just different things. Well, it makes me distracted and I get really far behind on some of the things that I need to get done. Yesterday, I was a responsible human being. Hear me out. I decided it was time to go work from home for a half a day, and not your guys' version of work from home. And I know so many of you that pour out that bottle of wine and you're having a good old time or drinking an 18-pack or whatever. I actually worked. I sat there. I got all the things I needed done. I came into work feeling like a champion, and nobody was here. Quite literally. You know, it's like a ghost town. I thought, man, are they kind of like proving a point? I left early, so... now they're like, we'll show him. You know, we just won't be here today for him. Anyway, Sydney's here now. The team's starting to trickle in. Dan's here. Mike's working today too. So we're all ready to go. But anyway, when I walked into the building today, I thought, man, I really must have done something wrong yesterday. Hey, also I have some time and want to say one of my favorite bartenders in town, he watches the show on Wednesdays, but I want to make sure that I can play this in case I see him tonight. AJ at Max is his birthday today, so if you guys have some time to go over to Max this evening, go stop by, wish AJ a happy birthday, a great bartender, and you know, just give him some birthday love and tell him that CJ sent you over there to celebrate his birthday, because anyone that knows me knows that I don't go out to bars if I have to drive, because I just don't take the chance that I'm an Uber person. I'm an Uber or find a ride home type of guy, you know, or walk. I've done that too. Hey, let's take a look what happened on this date in music while we're waiting for Tim Seebold. In 2014, songs by Elvis, ABBA, and the Spice Girls. That's a kind of an interesting mix. Well, listen to this. We're among those being used in research that hope to unlock the secret of how our memory works. Isn't this just insane? The researchers from the University of Amsterdam had created an online game in an attempt to shed light on why some of the tunes get stuck in your head. Philadelphia Freedom. If I have to hear that song in my head one more time, I'm just going to go crazy. Fans were asked to identify song clips and compared them by their catchiness. That happened on this date in 2014. On this date in 2008, singer-songwriter Jimmy Buffett announced that his Margaritaville Holdings, if I can speak today, has partnered with New York gambling company Coastal Marina to buy the Trump Marina Hotel for $316 million. His vast business empire also included tequila, beer, frozen food, footwear, restaurants, and a resort, a record label, and a recording studio. In Rolling Stone magazine in 2006, they estimated Buffett's earnings at, well, about $44 million. Not too shabby. On this date in 2006, Claude Charles Smith, the co-founder and lead guitarist of Kool and the Gang, died at the age of 57 after a long illness, of course, with the 1981 U.S. #1 celebration and another 15 top 40 hits. Died on this date in history. Also on this date in history, in 1992, Mariah Carey scored her 6th U.S. #1 with I'll Be There. The #2 hit in the UK, the song was also a #1 for the Jackson 5 in 1970. In 1987, Aerosmith appeared at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas for the first night of their permanent vacation 147-date world tour. Over the years, the venue has been the home to Texas Jam, which featured Deep Purple, Boston Journey, Scorpions, Cheap Trick, Van Halen. The list goes on and on and on. Eric Clapton notably held his first massive 3-day Crossroads Guitar Festival at the Cotton Bowl in 2004. But Aerosmith, there on this date in 1987. In 1969, the first of a 3-day festival in Newport, California, featuring Ike and Tina Turner, Marvin Gaye, Creedence Clearwater Revival, The Byrds, The Rascals, Steppenwolf, and the Jimi Hendrix Experience, Johnny Winter, Eric Burden, Love, and Janis Joplin. The 3-day ticket was $15 back in the day. Jimi Hendrix received $125,000 in 1969 for his appearance fee. At the time, it was the highest fee ever paid for a rock act for a single appearance. That happened on this date in 1969. How cool is that? Born on this date in history? Anybody? Oh, here we go. Michael Anthony, the American bassist who worked with Van Halen and other acts. Anthony markets a line of hot sauces and related products named Matt Anthony. He has a number of custom-made fishing is on my mind today, and I don't fish. Bass guitars, including a Jack Daniels model shaped like a whiskey bottle. Born on this date. I met this next guy, American singer, songwriter, Because You're Once, Twice, 3 times a Lionel. Lionel Richie was born on this date in history. That son of a gun. We were going to Rome, okay? And all of a sudden, for 2 hours, our plane had technical difficulties. Well, that technical difficulty was waiting for Lionel Richie and his family to get off their golf carts. They were getting driven around the airport. And all of a sudden, they get to the terminal. The plane worked fine. I made him get a picture with me. I was the only one of the only few, I think one of 3, if I'm being honest, that got that picture, and I earned it waiting for 3 hours to get on a plane because Lionel Richie wanted to be late. Anyway, that Lionel Richie born on this date. Anne Murray, man, great Anne Murray. Born on this date, too. We'll take a quick break. The time's 9:52. Tim Seebold joins us next, and we're talking all about the Alton Midwest Nationals.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
Riverbender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. Tim, this is nerve-wracking. I didn't spell check manager when I typed it in, so I gotta like look with ease, you know? This is cool, man. Tim Seebold joins us in studio, managing director for the Alton Midwest Nationals, the F1 Powerboat Racing Series. Am I getting this right?
Yeah, I got a couple hats to wear this week.
Man, right off the bat, how awesome is the Alton riverfront before we even talk about the series?
Beautiful. You know, the facility, just the layout in between Argosy Casino and the Alton Marina. So it's fabulous. I mean, amphitheater, what a great venue.
Really cool. And now, how did the this opportunity develop? You know, just right off the bat, how was the partnership with Great Rivers and Routes? What was the decision made to really bring this to Alton? Can you fill us in a little bit?
Sure. Well, we went to a Teams meeting down in Florida, so that's basically where cities come in, and they look for entertainment events to do in their cities. So that's where I first met them, and we started this process 2 years ago is when I met them. So
wow,
it takes a little bit to get all this going, especially, you know, we've got the Alton, you know, side of it, the Illinois side, and then we also have some of the Missouri side municipalities as well. So there's a lot to juggle and coordinate between everybody.
I could only imagine that, seriously. And we were talking, you're originally from Granite City.
Yeah, originally from Granite City. My grandfather started his boat dealership, Granite City Boat and Motor, and then my father branched off and started his own in Concord Village, South County. So we had 2 boat dealerships going at one time, and then you know, racing's always been in our family and our blood. So my grandfather started racing in 1939.
Wow.
My father started racing at age 11. My older brother raced, and he started when he was 13. I think I started when I was 8. So
that's awesome, man. How did racing evolve since your grandpa started? You know, I could only imagine what some of those power boats were looking like back then. Do you have any recollection or any stories to share?
Oh yeah. So you know, back then, if they were running 10 miles an hour, that was rolling.
Oh man.
So that you got to remember what time frame it was. But you know, it's still competition. And the funniest thing I always think about my grandfather, so he went to a boat race, he saw it, he liked it. He really couldn't swim, to be honest with you. And so instead of, he was mechanic, you know, he was very good mechanically. And so instead of buying somebody else's boat and then learning what he's doing, he built his own boat right off the bat.
No way.
Yes.
I love that. Get it done yourself and you know it's right.
I know. I can't even believe that.
Well, you know, as you're preparing for a weekend like this, there's a ton of ins and outs. And, you know, just where I'm at in the community and talking to folks, everyone has been excited about this for quite some time. And when you're looking at partners and spots to place for the tour, it's got to be cool to see that this town and region are really eating this up and saying, we want you here and we're going to be a part of this team.
Well, it sure is. And it's so nice to have a partner that is enthused and wants you here and is also willing to help share the workload to make it a bigger, better event. So with this particular event, we've got a partnership with the great guys over at MRF. And so we're going to have racing and we're going to have music. So it's going to be a festival atmosphere. It's free to the public. So if you want to come out, you don't have to spend a dime on the racing side. If you want a premium experience, then you could get bleacher seating or even a VIP experience. But you know, it all ties in with the community. We've got so many different aspects of the community, the municipalities that are helping us. And we got to give a big shout out to the police, the fire, you know, absolutely Coast Guard, Corps of Engineers, just to name a few. And then you got Natural Department of Resources on both Missouri and Illinois side, Coast Guard, Water Patrol.
That's why I was asking, because this wasn't a yard sale you were setting up. There's so many agencies and so much involvement. That's what I think so impressive about this, Tim, is that, you know, this takes a lot of work. There's a lot of stops to pull out, but the way that the whole organization and its partners really operated and maneuvered through it, the public had no idea of all the agencies that have to be involved to put something like this on.
Correct. And, you know, don't forget the city of Alton, because without them, none of this happens. Parks Department, you know, Michael's been great over there, and Lindsay. So we just have all kinds of help coming from all over. And, you know, racing has got a huge history, not only in the metropolitan area, but also Alton. So the oldest reference I could find to it was like 1890 something, 94, 92, where they had the old Alton Bridge. So they had a political gathering where they backed up two of the trains right there to crescent the bridge, and then afterwards it was followed by boat racing.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I'll be damn, man. That's awesome. And now this weekend, I was just kind of hitting on it earlier. I've been talking to some folks that are going to be a part of the meet and greet at Max, this big party that's happening tomorrow night, and everyone's excited about this. I mean, we're going to see all these people, and everyone's going to come down. They're excited to have a good time. Fill us in on the details if you could.
Exactly. So on Friday is really a test and tune day for the drivers. So we'll run the two-seater media boat from 12 to 1, and then we start the testing per class. So we've got the headliners, which are the Formula One boats, and then we've got the support classes as being the Formula Lights and the tri-hulls. And the tri-hulls are equivalent to the bomber class. So these guys like to bang and hit each other, and it is very entertaining.
That's awesome, man.
So when we get done with the test and tune portion of it, then we're going to have from 6:30 to 8:30 a meet and greet kickoff party over at Max, where we're closing down, was it Beale and 3rd? And we're going to just have a party and come out. This is for the public, the fans, to come out, meet the drivers, see what it's about, get up close personal with the boats. A lot of the drivers will set the kids in the boats. It's a great interactive experience.
Well, and that's what I think's so great about this is it's really a festival weekend atmosphere, because you're closing down Bell Street and 3rd Street, you know, tomorrow. I'm excited about it because, number one, you're giving me a reason to kind of knock out a little bit early. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, number two, it's the fact that everyone has something that we're all looking forward to in some way, shape, or form. And that's what's cool to be a part of this, and just kind of seeing all the excitement and seeing the businesses getting ready for this and the individuals that are wanting to be vendors or sell stuff somewhere. You know, I mean, that's what I think's so cool, is that this boat race really kind of gave us a boost in community morale a little bit, too, and just having that one big thing, you know?
The city's buzzing.
Yeah.
And we've had people for years and years, because on the St. Louis side in Fenton and at Creve Coeur for 38 years, the Concord's Village Lions Club put on the St. Louis Grand Prix. Well, 2008 was the last year for that. So it has been a long time coming, and we always have the fans asking us, hey, when you going to bring boat racing back to the St. Louis area? When you going to bring boat racing back? So we finally did with our great partners at Alton.
And, you know, I'm just talking to Corey Job, who is just, you know, Great Rivers and Routes really coming together and spearheading this. I don't know how that all worked out, but 2 years ago, to be at this point now, it's got to be just a cultivating feeling of happiness, of relief, too, because I'm sure the work being put in and being rewarded finally has got to feel great. Now, ahead of this weekend, can you break down Saturday and Sunday for us? Because I know Sunday's championship day. This is going to be a big one. But Saturday, all day long, there's opportunities for folks to be out and about and really observing.
Yeah, you know, we get started on Saturday at 9 a.m., so we got a little bit of testing, then we have qualifying, and then we have qualifying heats. So when you come out Saturday, you're going to see a lot of action. And one thing about the qualifying heats, if you win the first one, then you start dead last for the second one. So we invert the field on starting order by the finish order of the previous heat.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So it's not like somebody can just go out there and run away with it.
Yeah.
So, and we've got racing all the way through 5 o'clock on Saturday. At 5 o'clock, MRF opens their doors, and I believe at 5:30, you know, the rock and roll starts.
It does, and it's going to be a good old... We were just talking to Zach and Nick yesterday from the MRF, good guys, and to have you on the show today is wonderful, too. And now, on Sunday, when is how does the champion decided? For folks that don't know really how this breaks down, what does that look like?
So we've got one last heat race on Sunday prior, and then it comes down to the finals. So every time these drivers put their boats in the water, they accumulate points.
Okay.
And the starting lineup for the final is whoever has accumulated the most points in the weekend. But the champion is whoever wins that final.
That's cool as hell. I love that because it's really that championship. I mean, it's a true championship.
It builds up.
Yeah.
It builds up, and that way you don't have somebody throwing a heat to get a better starting position because it's going to cost them points in the championship. And these championships sometimes come down to 1 or 2 points.
And what I think is cool is how you structure, because you can tell that you guys have been in the racing scene a little bit to know how these things are, you know, working and how people work the system too. That's cool, and the way you break it down prevents a lot of that and makes it more exciting for the public.
It does, and you know, like anything else, we're always work in progress. We always learn from what we did the last race and build upon it for the next race. So, and that's exactly what we want to do with the Alton Midwest Nationals event.
Absolutely. And now going forward, I got a couple of just topical questions. How do you film the darn thing? You know, that's what I find interesting. That's got to be talent.
So we have got a great film crew from Live Media Services.
Okay.
So it will be live streamed. And then on top of it, it will be delayed taped for Speed Sport 1.
Oh, cool.
And that platform is on all of your streaming devices and platforms. So it's all on the free. You don't have to spend a dime to watch it because it's all advertise-based free TV.
That's really cool.
And the money shots are the drone shots.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you.
So our drone pilot is incredible. He comes out, and that's why we can't have other drones out in the area flying when we're trying to do this, because the drone footage is so important.
Oh, I bet. And now, is there any difference in terms of body of water whenever you're, you know, at this point in the Mississippi River? Is the water a little bit different than when it would be in different parts of the country for your boat riders to prepare for?
Oh, for sure. You know, we race on everything from the Mississippi River. We raced on the Red River. We raced on lakes. We raced on inlets. We've raced on intercoastals. We've raced on, we'll go to Windsor, Colorado, mid-September, and we race on a private lake in the middle of a golf course.
That actually would be really cool to be a part of.
It is incredible.
That's awesome. And now, folks, this is just going to be a great weekend for powerboat racing, for Alton in general, for the region in general. And you can get tickets if you want that bleacher experience for only $20. That's
per day.
Really cool. And there's VIP ticket options.
And there's VIP. You can either go to Great Rivers and Routes website, and then we've got links for not only the powerboat racing, but also for MRF tickets. And then you can also go to F1 Powerboat Championship.com and go under events, and you can find the links there as well.
Really cool. And we'll see you out there tomorrow night at Max's. We're going to be having a good... Just act like you didn't see me on Friday night is kind of what I'm getting at early here. But you're going to see you at 6:30 p.m. at Max on the corner of Bell and 3rd Street, and just have a good old time, meet some of the racers, and just make this an awesome, action-packed weekend in Alton. Tim, thanks so much for stopping by, and always appreciate it. We'll have to chat soon.
Heck yeah, and thanks for having me, and We just want to make sure all the fans come out, hang out, see what it's all about, bring the family, because that's what it's all about.
There you have it. At 10:10, we'll take a quick pause here. We'll come back with more of our daily show, and I'll see you on the riverfront for an action-packed weekend that awaits us here in the 618.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone, and over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team. We've got showing.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. How are we doing? Welcome back, 1012. Good to see you. Hey, we just had, this is an exciting weekend here on the riverfront. We just talked to MRF yesterday. We got the powerboat racing coming up. I might live stream that one though and stay or on the roof here. That'd be a good spot. Jake Kiva, nice to meet you, sir. You're running for state representative against Katie Stewart, correct?
Yes, in the 112th district.
And how are we doing this morning?
Doing fantastic. We've been knocking on a lot of doors and talking to a lot of people, and I think we got quite a bit of momentum in our district.
Well, and it's really an interesting time point in the process here with the summer months starting now. You got the first presidential debate starting, so now that general election is starting to get into people's minds. And right off the bat, what are some of the conversations that you've been having with some of your potential constituents throughout the district?
Well, I'll tell you, the main thing that I'm hearing from people is the cost of living and taxes. And they're very concerned that, the taxes keep going up.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. And although your property taxes are come from the county, not necessarily from the state, but there's a reason that those taxes go up. And if you look at like Madison County government, and Paul and his fellow board members have done a great job. Madison County, the county itself is lowering taxes. School districts have been raising them, but school districts are 2/3 of your tax bill, your property tax bill. And I don't necessarily fault the school district. I fault the state of Illinois because they're forcing these unfunded mandates on the school districts and other units of government. I currently work for the city of Troy, Illinois. Mm-hmm. We get unfunded mandates all the time, things that we must do that don't come with money associated with it. So a school district, they have contracts with their employees. They know what their employment costs are to hire people. They have electric bills and utility bills just like you have, and they have to pay those. So when you pile the unfunded mandates on them and the state doesn't give them the funds to cover it, it has to come from somewhere, which raises property taxes. So the state of Illinois, our legislators can do things to help our property tax bill, They're just choosing not to.
Yeah, and you know what I think's really interesting, just hearing what you had to say there, Mr. Cuban, is the fact that, you know, bottom line, I'm sure that 90% of the individuals don't know why there's so many issues or why taxes are going up or why they're paying what they're paying now. And when they hear you kind of explain this a little bit, does it turn into a different conversation that's not really left or right anymore, but just how is our government operating? You know, because I'm sure that's, you know, a big question mark for some of those folks too.
Well, I will tell you that most of the people that I'm talking to when I'm knocking on doors in the evening times, they're not far right and they're not far left.
Yeah.
Most of us live right in the middle.
Yep.
And they want solutions. They don't want you talking down the other party. They don't want bickering back and forth. They want you to come together and find solutions. And that's what I'd like to do. You know, I've been in public service my entire life. I started with the Illinois State Police and I worked there for 27 years. I then went to Edwardsville as their police chief. I worked there for a little over 8 years, and I'm currently the city administrator in Troy. And I tell you, at the local government level, we work together very well. And the state government could take a lesson from that. I mean, if state government ran the way local government did and was as accountable as local government is, you know, we would be in a better position right now statewide.
Well, and what I find really fascinating in a positive way is, you know, having Paul here from Madison County Board. When you have conversations at a state rep level, if you are to win the general in November, you know, for your constituents to know, hey, you know, I'm going to be collaborating or having these conversations with county board just to keep that line of transparency, that line of communication. Has that kind of gone a little bit of a way for you in a positive light when you're having these conversations too? Because it seems like there is a disconnect from the state level, no matter if it's reps to senators, what have you, to the county-wide level where we could actually have those conversations about what's affecting us here downstate Illinois.
Well, I mean, that's what you should be doing.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
As a state representative, you represent your district. You know, you don't represent your own position and your own desires. What you do is you go back to your district, and who better knows the district than your county board members and your county elected officials, because they're, I don't want to say in the trenches because we're not at war, but they're in the field every day with people, and they hear from them. I mean, in Paul's case, if he has done something that his constituents don't like, they know where he lives. They'll knock on his door. They'll see him at the grocery store, and they'll say, "Hey, we don't care for this." Or if they need help with something, they know where he lives. They see him at the grocery store, and they say, "Hey, can you work on this?" So yeah, obviously those are the people I want to stay in touch with because they help me reach a broader base within the district. Now, granted, I don't care which group it is, you know, if it's a coalition of women voters or whoever, I'm happy to work with anybody, but our county board members are the ones that they're really in touch with their district.
Well, and Paul, fill me in a little bit about why you're, working with, or, helping Jay out here on this campaign. What are your thoughts as a county board member and just heading into the general in 2024?
Well, did you listen to him right now? That was, I mean,
I had to ask,
I met him and I'm like, this is a really impressive individual. He's perfect for public service. He's done the law enforcement angle. Because to me, as government, it should be basic, keeping your people safe, right? That's our number one responsibility is elected officials, to make sure we give law enforcement their tools. So, I mean, he's got that covered. Did very well at that. He's a chief of police. How many people can say they've been elevated to that?
Yeah.
Now he's in city government doing a great job. Troy is a very well-run city. Residents like him there, so I'm like, all right, this is a very impressive guy. He can do very good things for anywhere he works, really, but let alone being in public service. So I'm like, how can you not get behind him?
100%. And now, Jay, as you're walking through the district, and curious to know, has the Edwardsville, school district, any of those conversations? Because, we've had reports here on RiverBender that have been some of our most viewed stories and most interacted with regarding the bathrooms that were the changes made to the bathrooms and that one gender bathroom. If I'm mispronouncing the term they gave it, my apologies. But there's been a lot of those conversations. Have you heard directly from anyone in that area regarding their concerns or any thoughts they have?
Yeah, many of the folks when I'm knocking doors and I'm talking to people in the Edwardsville and Glen Carbon area are concerned about the multi-gender bathrooms, if you will. But even those that are saying, hey, we're kind of fine with the bathroom scenario, they're concerned about the cost. So as a fiscal conservative, there's a cost for everything we do. And then you really should do what I call it, what is called a cost-benefit analysis to say, if we spend this amount of money, do we get this amount of benefit or maybe greater benefit from it? So we should be looking at cost-benefit. I'll tell you, one of the school resource officers who was my supervisor for school resource officers when I was a police chief, he has since retired as well. And he told me when I was a police chief, hey, the biggest problem we are having in school is the kids with vaping and doing things that they shouldn't be doing in the bathrooms. And so now with the new setup, and again, even if you're for the shared bathroom, you're telling me now we're going to have an enclosed water closet, if you will, several of them, completely enclosed. They must be ventilated because it's a restroom.
Yeah.
And how easy is it going to be for a student to take their vape pen or their girlfriend or whatever into that stall with them, lock that door, and be secure in there with a ventilation system that's individualized for that particular room to do whatever they want to do there. So, there's unintended consequences that come with some of these things. So again, even the folks that were telling me that, hey, we're okay if they're gender neutral bathrooms and, as long as it's a separate stall and it's enclosed, but then there's other issues that come with that. So sometimes I think it's short-sighted to not look at the entire program.
Yeah, and that's a great, because my initial thought, Jay, was what happens if someone has a seizure in that bathroom, and we don't know, and some of those medical emergencies that were kind of coming into discussion. And now, recently we saw that there was a measure put on the ballot to kind of pull away from Cook County in a little bit. What are your thoughts, as someone who has the potential to be representing Southern Illinois in this election in November if you win? What's your thoughts going forward on how we're going to have conversations at this level with, other senators, other state reps, maybe even the governor's office on the displeasures that we're seeing down here in this portion, especially here in Madison County, where we're seeing folks saying, let's split away. We don't need this. We don't want to be a part of Cook County anymore. Get them away from us. What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't know that we would ever follow that process to split from Cook County and split our state. I mean, it's a doable thing, but I don't know that we would do that. But I do think that it sends a loud message. It's a non-binding referendum, but it does send a loud message to say, hey, we are not pleased with what's occurring throughout the rest of the state of Illinois. We don't want to be dictated to by Cook County and the collar counties and said, this is how your world's going to go. I mean, we are a population of people that would like to have some say in our government. I'm hopeful to be that person that's going to have the say in our government, and I'm not going to be a rubber stamp for Chicago. And my thought process is, quite frankly, let the people's voices be heard. And even if it doesn't bring about the change that some people would like to see, at least they have the chance to say, hey, this is my opinion, and yes or no, we would like to have some degree of separation. I get it. I get the frustration. I mean, I don't like other people making decisions for our district, and it seems like that's what happens quite often.
100%. You guys got a moment to stick around real quick? I think this is a good pause point here. At 10:23, we'll take a quick break, but if you're looking for a fresh start on the road to recovery, a life free from addiction is possible, and it starts with our partners here at RiverBender.com and Centerstone. Centerstone's that national leader in mental health and substance use disorder treatment for people of all ages, with a commitment to delivering care that changes people's lives. What I think's cool is they don't use just a template of, well, we've done this for 20 years, follow the steps, you're good to go. They use evidence-based practices now in these treatment programs, so they're going to really go into that individual and see what they really need to work on medication-wise, mentally, and then help them combat that substance use disorder treatment. You can join Centerstone and myself on the first and last Wednesday of each and every month as we discuss this very important topic, or you can learn more by going to recoverwithus.org. That's recoverwithus.org.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Lennox products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. Southern Cross, Crosby, Still. You can't go wrong with some good Southern rock. Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. Yep, and Young.
True story. Rick James asked me.
No, no way.
I promise you, look it up. He moved to Canada sometime in his life, teens, early 20s, and he met all those guys, and he's done some work with them.
That is an interesting partnership. Rick James,
Oh, yeah.
I love that, man. That's cool. Jay, getting back to the race, I know that, Paul, where you're at in the county board, a lot of the precincts are, pretty much all of them are in Jay's district. And, with that being said, there's still an election coming down for all levels of state, and county board's one of those. And now, when we had the primary coverage, you called it out, and you told me this on the air. I remember you saying, right now we don't have anyone we're looking at, but they're going to slate them.
Sure.
It's going to happen. And fill me in a little bit more on this, Paul, because you have some really key insights to this slating situation, and I'd like to hear what your thoughts are and kind of some of the hurdles that are being thrown.
Wow, this is so bizarre. So we knew there's probably going to be some Democrat candidates slated after the smoke cleared.
Yeah.
They had nobody in the primary. There's no primary contentions. They had Democrats up, but they didn't have any opponents. So I'm like, you're going to slate somebody who we don't know. So then you started to pick out patterns and stuff like that. So It looks like they slated 5 candidates in the southern part of the county, 3 in the Collinsville, Maryville area, 2 in Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, and a lot of Katie's precincts are there. So I'm like, okay, they're going to help her out. You know, they're going to run, they're going to back each other, support each other. Understandable, but I don't have a problem with slating. The more people who can run, the more voices out there, give people more options. I'm for it.
Yeah.
Across the board.
True, yeah.
I'm for those 5 Democrats getting on the ballot, but here's the hypocrisy, and this happened within a week's time. They're fighting Jay, right? We had to get a bunch of signatures in a short time to get all signatures completed so it could be on the ballot. So they were fighting that, but within a week, Katie Stewart's out promoting these, as they call it, like-minded individuals. We have these 5 candidates, they're slated, they're good. So all these people, you know, in this group, too, of Democrats are backing Katie, you know, which is fine, that's their right, but you're slating candidates, but then you're trying to get other candidates off the ballot.
Yeah.
That doesn't be consistent. Do you want county board candidates slated, but you're not okay with a state rep slated getting candidated and, you know, slated? And the thing is, they did was they think it's a short-term gain. It's going to hurt them in the end. What they did is going to be hard to undo, making it impossible to slate candidates now. And who knows where the smoke's going to clear after the lawsuits. Maybe their new law will be deemed unconstitutional, period. They can't put it through ever. But just like, that was just so short-sighted. Like, we don't want people running against our candidates this election cycle, so we're going to change the rules. That's bizarre to me. It seems like that's a pattern in national politics lately. I didn't want it to come local, but now it seems local. Just changing the rules of an election, that's why.
Hold that thought on the national issue. I want to touch on that here in a second. But, you know, Jay, just hearing Paul's thoughts on this, and, you know, thank you for breaking that down a little bit more clearly for me. What is your reaction just to some of what's going on and, you know, maybe blocking ballot access? You know, Jay, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I will tell you, when Jay Hoffman put forth what they're calling, or what we're calling, the Katie Stewart Protection Act, and basically we're saying that what they did is they took a shell bill. So they had a bill that was from DCFS to protect children. It had 2 readings in the Senate, and it was in the House. Jay takes that bill, and he says, we're going to rewrite the bill. It's already had 2 readings. They rewrite the bill to say you can't be on the November ballot if you were a slated candidate for the state legislature only for the state legislature.
Makes sense.
On a DCFS bill?
They took a DCFS bill to protect children, and it had 2 readings in the House already. It had already passed the Senate. They took that language out, and they gutted that bill, and they put language in there to keep me off the ballot. They had one more reading, the 3rd reading, which was truly the first for this language, and they passed that bill in the night on a Wednesday night. At that point in time, I probably had about 300 or less petition signatures, and I needed 500, and usually you want to submit quite a few more than that, because they'll challenge some signatures. And that following Thursday, we did a drive-through petition drive. So instead of going to door knock, we asked people to come to us. We did it at one of Bob Plummer's hotels in Edwardsville, and Annie Fry got on the radio and said, hey, please come out and help this guy get on the ballot. They're playing some dirty tricks. And I couldn't believe it, because we had about 500 signatures in 4 hours. We had times when we had cars 4 deep lined up with people coming in to sign that petition. So we ended up I filed my petition about 30 minutes before the Senate passed the bill.
Oh my gosh.
And then the following day, the governor signed the bill. So my petition got in, and one more candidate did. Well, there has since been a lawsuit, and all the Republican candidates, I believe there were 14 of them, that were slated, that got kicked, basically were going to be kicked off the ballot. A Sangamon County judge stayed that and said, hey, it's unconstitutional. You can't change the rules in the middle of the game. And then I later find out, when I'm talking to Paul, that, well, how ironic is it that Katie's out there supporting these 5 individuals to run against county board seats as slated Democratic candidates. So good for me, but not for you. So anyway, but Katie Stewart Protection Act failed, and I'm sure they'll try something else. They're not going to give up. They don't want to have choice in this district.
Let me ask you, do you think the reaction, you know, I mean, 500 people lining up this, you know, the street throughout the day to get you signatures is pretty impressive. Do you think it's because of being, on certain sides of a topic, or are people just tired of the political bullshit?
Well, CJ, can I correct you real quick? We didn't have 500 people getting signatures. We had a group of people who got 500
Well,
signatures.
that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant. 500 signatures that day is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we got
4 hours.
But do you
4 hours.
attribute that to people agreeing with policy, or is it just stopping political bullshit?
I would say probably the greatest piece of that is people are just tired of the nonsense.
Okay.
They truly are tired of the nonsense. But I do tell you, when I'm talking to people within this district, there are a lot of people ready for change. There truly are. They want somebody that's going to work for this district and not pull the lever as they're told to for Chicago.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, going back and picking up on your point again about that nationalization of a statewide and a local election, whenever you're talking to constituents, whenever you're just out working and doing what you're doing in the campaign, how important is it to not bring those national issues into your local race? Because I'm sure there are some national issues that are very important to the folks at home that directly affect them, but there's also some that really don't have that direct of an effect on the district, on that group of constituents. When you're having those conversations, did you ever try to separate those two items, or is it better to talk about them in an overview when you're meeting?
Well, I have made it clear to people that I'm running for a statewide race.
Yeah.
And no matter what your national thought process is. But I will tell you that national issues do impact our state. So we're not a border state. But we are a sanctuary state. Chicago is a sanctuary city. So the immigration crisis that we're facing at our border is certainly impacting our residents. I mean, this year, the Democrats in the House and the Senate passed a $53 billion spending bill.
Yeah.
$53 billion. When Governor Pritzker came in 6 years ago, our budget was about $39 billion.
Wow.
We are now at $53 billion.
That's a lot.
1.1 billion of that was new tax revenue. So we're paying for that. We're paying for additional. We're paying additionally. We're paying for the whole budget. I mean, government runs by tax dollars.
Yeah.
So an additional 1.1 billion of tax dollars, and 1 billion of that going to support people who are not even citizens of the country, not much less the state. They're not citizens of this country. But yet, are we doing our Veterans Affairs shake? Are we helping our low-income people? But we certainly are helping folks that are not even residents of this country, much less this state. So the national issues do impact us, but it's clear to me that, I want people to understand, I'm running for the state of Illinois. I'm not running at the national level. I certainly have my opinions on how we could do things better, but I'm focused on improving the state of Illinois. Sure.
Really, really cool. And now, Jay, as we keep talking, there was a comment that was sent to me in an email a few weeks back, and it was about a quote that was potentially made, and I'm sure it was. There was multiple publications of it, of the governor saying at one point in time, there's friends down south in Illinois that could help us in Chicago, and he was referring to the uptick of migrants. What are your thoughts on, kind of ensuring that, hey, because it seems like, and I'm saying a right or wrong issue, but it just seems like we don't have the financial capacity to support a group of people that, such as migrants. We just don't have the money for it. How can you protect the southern part of Illinois from, maybe having to house additional individuals that we can barely afford to, house our unhoused that we currently have, in the area now?
Well, that's going to be a tough issue across the board. I mean, Chicago is struggling with that as we speak.
Yeah.
You talk about unfunded mandates. Yeah. My goodness, if they tell us, hey, we're going to send X number of people to your community, and you're going to need to start picking up the tab for them, we don't have the facilities to do that.
Sure. And I'll tell you what, CJ, too, we put something, not to cut Jay off, but we put something up on a county board of resolution saying we don't want them in our county just because we can't afford them.
Yeah.
We don't have any place to house them. This seems to be like a never expanding problem.
Yeah.
That we just more and more keep coming. I think the estimates between 35 and 50,000 now up there.
Yeah, I don't know what the number truly is.
It's really hard to get the estimate, but that, just seems to keep growing. It doesn't seem to be stopping. So if we got a large influx in our county, that could really be a burden. And that's another part where, Jay takes a different path on that than Katie, and then the local Republicans seem to take a different path than the local Democrats on that. They seem to didn't have a problem with the migrants coming down as long as we supposedly got money for them, but I mean, no one ever promised us money, and something like that would be a continuous problem, because let's say that we only get like 1,000 migrants. That doesn't sound like a lot, but 1,000 people you need housed, you need beds for, and you need 3 meals a day. That starts to add up, and then we need to, you know, line them up in schools and everything. It's just, it would burden our county.
Yeah, no, and it wasn't. It's not a moral conversation. No. It's just a question of, can we financially do this, and do we have the space to do it too? And I think that's a very fair way to break that down. And you know, Jay, as we're keep talking here, one of the things that's been hitting this area a little bit more too is just, you know, people are kind of looking and going, you know, we have no inventory for homes right now. Sure. I mean, right now, rental properties are through the roof. I mean, if I wanted to live in the same type of house I bought a year ago, I'm looking at paying almost double in rent what my house bill is. And, you know, going forward, is there anything that you can do from the state rep level to maybe help the, number one, the tightness of the inventory in houses, and maybe just providing a program for young people to start pursuing their American dream here in the Southern District?
Well, I think making sure that people can make a living wage and make a fair wage. I mean, there are job opportunities out there, but can you afford to pay your bills? I mean, when rent has doubled, and literally has doubled in the last few years, I can get a job, but even at, you know, with a rate of $15 an hour, I can't afford to pay rent plus feed a family on my salary. So we have to create job opportunities. We have to support business. We have to support small business. I mean, they're the engine that runs your economy. Sure. Yeah. You know, we have United Technical just came into Troy, and they're creating probably about 25 good-paying machinist jobs. And it's not the it's not the days of the old, you know, machine shops that are hot and sweaty. This place is air conditioned, and the machinists are running around with iPads.
Yeah.
They're wearing polo shirts. And you know, they do machine work there. They do some government work that they're not allowed to tell me about what they're making. They're making parts for
that's cool.
For government defense, and then they're also making plastic bottles. So they created Blow Mold is the name of their company as well. But that's 25 jobs, and they're paying dang near $100,000 a year. That helps your economy. That helps drive, you know, and eventually our housing market will straighten out. Eventually, you know, over time, the world's going to right itself again, and we're not going to be, you know, kind of upside down. And when the market kind of balances out, and you have a good inventory of houses, and it matches buyers that are looking for houses, and you're not lopsided one way or another, then I think, you know, prices come back into the realm of reality. And again, as long as somebody's making, again, we're affording opportunities for a good living wage and helping create those small businesses and support those small businesses, and getting people, you know, trained and getting people the opportunity to get these good jobs. I mean, my dad always said, the Lord helps those who help themselves. So if I'm willing to go and get trained to learn how to do a job and make a good living, and I'm willing to work every day, you know, I'm gonna do well. There's just no doubt about it. So I think opportunity is the big key there for balancing that, and I think we can create opportunities by supporting businesses and making sure people have a safe working environment, and making sure people make a living wage when they're working.
And, you know, just to follow up on that, because that's a really great point, and I had no idea about the machinist shop up in Troy, but that sounds like a huge opportunity for the area. And we always hear the word economic impact. That's true, economic impact, because it's always in our day-to-day lives. It's not just there and gone. You know, when you're talking about supporting businesses, you know, is it your takeaway that there should be some type of municipality or some district help for maybe someone that's coming in and, you know, like you said, the 25 machinist shops that are providing $100,000 wages? Is there some type of corporate, I don't want to say welfare, but some type of corporate help to those organizations? Do you support that in terms of, you know, a repayable grant, a repayable, you know, couple of $1 million loan to get them into the building? Is there any type of corporate help that you support in those drives as well?
Well, I do support it. We've created 2 TIF districts in Troy since I've been there. Now, a TIF district can be managed properly where it's really not hitting the taxpayer. It's money that's generated. So although we didn't do a TIF with this business, this United Technical that I'm talking about, we did give them a tax abatement on their building for 10 years at 90%. So what they would pay to the city, now just the city's portion, that's what we control. But they are going to receive a 90% tax abatement. Now what happens is that land was vacant land and it was being taxed, and let's say the city was getting $200 a year on that. Well, now he comes and he builds a facility on there that's worth multi-million dollars, and the city is now getting about, I don't know, say $3,000 in taxes.
Oh, wow.
So we're giving 90% of that back to him. It's money that his business generated by building.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the proper way. If you're doing a TIF district, now again, this wasn't a TIF. This was just a one-off agreement that we did with him. But in a TIF district, the same thing. To provide money back for something that if somebody is redeveloping, I mean, they've done a great job here in Alton with a lot of the redevelopment that they've done. Collinsville has done it on Main Street. Edwardsville has done it on their downtown, and Highland has done it, and we're doing it in Troy now. And when you have vacant buildings in your downtown, it's disheartening. So if you're telling somebody that this vacant building, which is generating $2,000 in taxes a year, but you're going to do $1 million renovation to it, and now it's going to generate $20,000 in taxes a year, that increment is 18. That 20,000 that we're getting now compared to the 2,000 we were, well, that's the money in a bucket that we can say we wouldn't have gotten that had it not been for your investment in our community. And that's the money that we can look at refunding back to help offset that cost. So to me, if a TIP district is operated properly, it certainly can benefit, and it doesn't come at a big burden to the taxpayers. Now, when you have businesses that you're offering funds to that are coming anyway, then it's really not really all that helpful.
Yeah.
So, but in depressed and blighted areas that need redevelopment or that need development, they work very well. And there's these partnerships that we make with local businesses, and again, not only are they generating sales tax for us and property tax for us, but they're paying living wages to individuals and giving work opportunities so that our residents don't have to go across the river to St. Louis, or our residents don't have to go to another community to find work. They can find work right in their own hometown.
That's really it's a really great point, Jay. And Paul, as we're talking now too, going in, have they slated somebody against you in your board seat?
Yeah, it's one of the 5 days.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what's kind of, I haven't been attacked or anything like that.
Right.
Right. And I'm not into that kind of stuff either. I just want to talk about our different governing philosophies.
Yeah.
What I've noticed from just some of the local Democrats, ones slated and running this new energy within the Democrat Party, they seem to be really counterintuitive and just completely different than us. Mm-hmm. Like I just noticed, like with for spending, for example, the county, like Jay said earlier, we've lowered our taxes, our overall tax rate. Can the other taxing bodies do that in the area? So it seems like when there's Republican control, more of a conservative way of spending, you have lower taxes. And every taxing body's different, but I'd like to see those kind of trends instead of large increases. So I think going with that philosophy of spending, I think the county tax would go up if you see, kind of, new kind of style of governing in the county. And like I said too about the migrant situation, we're like, well, we can't handle this, and they seem to mirror a lot what's going on in Chicago, and more of the upstate Democrats. Seems like a disconnect to what we want here. I'm not sure why that is. Certain things, like I've lived in a county my whole life. We've had a rise of homeless people. It's a very tough issue. We have to be compassionate about it. We're for stopping encampments. That's kind of wild to see people camped out on the street. Not many states allow that. Not many municipalities do. So, we're trying to get the ball rolling on that, just to ban encampments. We're not it's not a war on homeless people. We just don't think that's good and healthy for a city to have people camping on their, in their parks or, downtown area. And they were saying that was unconstitutional. They wanted to basically keep the ability to have encampments, which, forget about the homeless situation. You just don't want anybody camping up on the street.
Well, and that's a good point. And it was one that was discussed here in Alton whenever they were proposing that of a similar ordinance. And I think the conception of the public, not a misconception, but the thought was, well, this is what you just said, Paul, a war against homeless people, and we're And that's a great clarifier. And now on top of that too, currently the city of Alton has been going through this saga with the Salvation Army's proposed new Hope House. And I know that there's things coming into county board.
Oh, yeah.
Would like your thoughts on the matter as we are having these conversations at the city government level, and just we've had 2 neighborhoods now, almost, I don't want to say overwhelmingly, but I would say a very conservative number of 70 to 30 against this project. You know, what are your thoughts as you go forward at the county level?
Well, I'm glad you told me that. I think it's City of Alton. What do the people want? If you're telling me it's 70-30, that probably means it shouldn't go here. The thing is, the city council, I think, is going to make a call Wednesday, right?
Okay.
Next Wednesday. I'm going to be interested to see on that. I'm doing my research on it now. This is going to be for the whole county.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a very large project. I think $2.5 million
Yeah.
of federal money might go into it. So if you're going to do that for the whole county, maybe you could pick a more central location. That was, some people were saying that. Because this is really the north end of the county. It took me about 40 minutes to get here.
Right.
Yeah. Something maybe in the middle, so
Okay.
people from Collinsville can get there equal time. Grant City, Alton, Wood River, Bethalto, because it's long term. This is not like we're going to be building these everywhere. So we just kind of maybe not a one-shot deal, but like, let's make this right, because this building is going to be here long after we're gone.
That's a good point.
And let's do the right thing. And everything has to be drawn up right. The bids, everything has to be, it's the proper. We know when you're dealing with something that's important, everything's got to be lined up, and you just can't rush into things and go on emotion.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I'd like to get some follow-up maybe next week or the following week as the city of Alton makes that decision and develops further, just to get insights. And Jay, as we get back to you for your state representative race, going forward, what is some of your platform that you could share with our audience that we haven't had time to hit on? We've already been chatting for 40 minutes now, so I wanted to make sure that if folks wanted to learn more about some of your key issues, some of your key thoughts, feel free to share them while we have the time.
Well, certainly, I think I mentioned earlier, I spent 27 years with the Illinois State Police. The Illinois State Police motto for ISP was integrity, service, and pride. Integrity is first. And that was kind of as a 21-year-old man, that was drilled into my head. And prior to that, my dad drilled that into my head. Be honest with people, treat people right. And I would like to bring integrity back to government. I knew that political service would be different than public service. I've had, an entire career, almost 40 years of my life, I've been involved in public service. The side of Illinois politics is just, it doesn't have to be that way. We should be working together and not trying to fight to remove choice from the ballot. But, that being said, I would like to bring integrity back to government. I think we should all be embarrassed that the former Speaker of the House is going to go on trial this fall for corruption. He's being charged federally, and he's being charged in state court, and he's going on trial this fall. That shouldn't be happening, and that's not just one party. There's been both.
You're right. It's a both sides issue in this state for years.
And we need to get back to integrity. We need to remember who we're working for. We need to understand what a republic is. I go to Springfield and I represent the people, and then when my time is done, I say, "Hey, Paul, I did my turn. Now it's your turn to go." That's how it used to be. Well, now people are making careers there, and I'm telling you, I'm too old to make a career there. I don't want to make a career there. I don't want to live there. I want to go do my duty. I want to do my maybe a term or 2 or 3, whatever that is, but I don't want to make a career there. I've already had a successful career. I've had a couple of successful careers. I want to go help this community.
Right.
The second piece is, obviously, with my policing background, I support law enforcement, and we got to get back to that. We're doing better now than we were a few years ago. I used to tell the officers in Edwardsville when, people were beating us up on the news all the time, and, all policing was bad, and we've seen some of those posts from individuals that are like, every police officer should be removed, I said the pendulum will swing back. The pendulum goes back and forth. After 9/11, people love public safety. And now it's the George Floyd issue was kind of a kickoff to that. And then we had the Michael Brown shooting in Missouri, which brought that here closer to home. And people would pull their child by the hand away from a police officer standing in line to pay for their gas at a Quick Trip. It was craziness. They were afraid of the police. Police are a cross section of society. And I will tell you, there are bad apples in policing. There are bad apples in radio broadcasting. There are bad apples in...
here. I'm doing the show still,
There are bad apples everywhere.
Right.
We need to weed them out and get rid of them. But you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So we need to support our good police officers, and I will tell you 99.9% of them are good, and they're in it for the right reason. So that was my second piece. I think we need to support our police, and we need to have safe communities. For the most part, we do have safe communities in this district, but there is a crime issue. The Safety Act has made us unsafe. The Safety Act makes it harder to protect your citizens, and I would work on, if we could repeal pieces of that. I mean, another bill passed in the middle of the night. I mean, it's just craziness. It's not common sense. And then the last thing is it costs too much living, and whether that's your property tax or whether it's the fact that your grocery bill is doubled or your gasoline bill is doubled or utility costs are through the roof, there are things we can do. We can work on regulating some of the utility companies to say, hey, look, show me how your costs have gone up 30% before you can raise that rate 30%. I don't want them to lose money. I want them to be in business to make a profit. That's what they should do. They got shareholders that expect them to make a profit. They got people that work in the utility companies that make their living, that help the community by spending their money within the community that they earn. But it's got to be reasonable. It's got to be common sense. And that, if it's the one thing that I will bring to the table is common sense. Plain and simple, look at something from all angles. And does it make sense to do it? If it makes sense to do it, we should do it. But if that conscience sitting on your shoulder is telling you, hey, this ain't right, maybe you should not do it, Bottom line is, if you look at it with a common sense lens, and if you vote the way your district would want you to vote. Now, granted, there are people in this district that are going to say, well, I want X, and the other people in the district say, I want Y. Well, that's when you go right back to Paul's. If it's a 70-30 split, you go with the 70%.
Yeah.
And you know what? I might be with the 30% personally.
That's a good point.
But I got to vote my district.
That's a good point.
And unfortunately, I don't think we have that in the House in the 112th district right now. And I'll bring that to this district.
Absolutely. Jay Keevan is running for state representative. And Jay, I hope to be speaking with you more as the campaign keeps heating on up. And Paul, I would like to talk to you next week or the following week as we have more, especially on this Salvation Army New Hope House. But your final thoughts on this conversation?
Well, now you know why I'm supporting this guy so much. And why I've already knocked, significant amount of doors for him. Anybody that Jay engages with Jay, kind of, he spoke at my church, would be like, wow, this guy's pretty impressive. He's in it for the right reasons. Say he don't want to make a career out of it. That tells me a lot right there. He wants to go there and do good because he's going to take a lot of incoming. Anybody who runs for political office is going to take a lot of incoming, let alone someone who's run against a 3-time incumbent with Katie Stewart's backing. In closing, I think it's maybe not about right or left, maybe not about Democrat or Republican. It's about up or down. How do you want your quality of life to go?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're doing good in the county. We're back in law enforcement. Like I said, our sheriff, Jeff Connor, and our state attorney, Tom Main, their number one job is to keep the public safe. I think they're doing an amazing job. And I just want to make their job easier. Certain things like the Safety Act, it does burden policemen, big time. And unfunded mandates, they're included in the Safety Act. Jay can touch on that too sometime. But we're just here to make people's quality of life better, keep their taxes lower, get more for their government. That's what I can do as a county board member. Certain things I can't do. My scope's limited basically to budgets, taxes, oversight. And we can do certain things like something like the homeless encampments. That should be a no-brainer. Like I said, once again, municipalities are getting together and they're like, well, this maybe isn't good for my town, so they might work with the state's attorney's office. And like I said, his job is to keep the public safe, and that just seems like a safer, nicer environment for any municipality just to have, a place where you don't have encampments, like whether it's a public park or in front of, your local business, your local grocery store.
Absolutely. Folks, thank you so much for stopping by, and really appreciate both of your times. And Paul, we'll talk again hopefully very soon.
Yeah.
And Jay, I'd love to talk to you as the campaign keeps rolling around the corner. At 10:58 and a little bit of change, we'll take a quick pause. I'll come back and wrap up this Thursday morning that was right after this on Roku TV and RiverBender.com.
Get paid to go solar. We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof, because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready? Future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Sorry. Always good to have some insights like that. And that's why I like this show, because, you know, it's great to be able to have representative candidates for state rep and the state rep themselves, whether they're on the left or right side of the aisle, that come in and fill us in on their feedback, their thoughts, their insights, and it really just helps elevate this show, helps elevate the platform. I'm out of time, so I will see you back here tomorrow. On that note, only thing left is to get ready for a fun weekend. You got Thursday, that's today. Go out, see AJ for his birthday. We'll see you tomorrow for more of our daily show live at 9. So on that note, get ready for a great weekend and try your best to stay out of jail.